Takeaway Chinese, where you can take some Chinese away and experience progress day by day. Takeaway Chinese, we will promise you a difference.
你好，欢迎收听随行汉语 Welcome to Takeaway Chinese. I'm Niu Honglin. Joining me today is Tada!
Tada is here.
Tada!
I'm Steve.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. Can I make that my Chinese name? Does Tada have
No. I'm going to give you a proper Chinese name a bit later. But the Tada is just showcasing. I'm excited to do the show with you.
I know. We talked about it before, but I'm kind of liking it. So I was just wondering if there's like a Chinese character for Ta and another one for Da that could be put together.
There are those characters. They're just not proper name candidates.
I learned it. Someone asked me what my Chinese name was or what my name sounds like in Chinese, and it's Steve, so I think it comes out as Shidipu, something like that.
斯蒂芬.
Yeah, I like Tada better.
You like Tada better. Well, the thing is, people say Chinese people are not expressive enough. We do not say I love you as much to
really?
our parents. Well, I think it's the previous generation. Our generation is getting more and more expressive. And that is precisely my point. I think that phenomenon is changing because previously it was precisely because we have this really long history, a lot of different festivals, a lot of historic stories that are blended into not only our daily lives, but also our language. We have a lot of four-character Chinese idioms that has this whole really long background story behind it, yet we only use four characters to represent. So it's kind of like, we've seen enough, we've known enough, we want to be subtle and calm and kind of, that kind of quality for a nationality.
I mean, I wonder if that's just a global thing now, because I think when you compare my parents' generation to their parents' generation, I'm a lot more expressive than them, I think. I think it's just how you're raised and what types of things you discuss amongst your family members, because I think that's true in Canadian culture. In fact, I think that's probably still quite true in Canadian culture, where people are still learning how to express their emotions comfortably. Question though, we talk a lot about how big China is and how diverse it is in terms of its food and even its language, its expressions, its people, of course. But does that apply here as well? Can you say that maybe the southern part of the country is more comfortable expressing their feelings than northerners are? Is there any personality difference there, do you think?
There are definitely different stereotypes when it comes to different provinces and people from the southern part of the country and the northern part of the country. But I'm already using stereotype because each individual is definitely different.
Sure.
And like you said, you're definitely right when it comes to more people are being more and more expressive each different generation. And that is actually reflected on how we celebrate our holidays. Because when I was little, of course, we celebrate the holidays in the sense that the material was not that abundant. So you kind of need the holiday to be the special occasion to buy new clothes, to have delicious but a little bit expensive food and also extravagant snacks. Yet for my generation, when I grow older, and also I'm pretty sure for my kids' generation, it's not going to be like that. The festivals, especially the traditional ones, they're becoming a occasion for people to be emotionally more expressive, to be happy, openly happy together, and through different activities, through carefully designed modern activities as well as traditional activities to express their happiness and to, live the life.
I guess then it's true is that the holiday will never lose its importance.
No.
But the knowledge of why or how the holiday is special may be redefined.
Or evolving.
Or evolve, yeah. And that's just natural, isn't it? That happens everywhere.
Yes.
I think.
And I think you've been here long enough to have witnessed several holidays already, but this is still your first Lenten festival, isn't it?
Correct. It is. Yeah. When I visited the last time, or the first time I should say, the holiday had already concluded. The decorations were still up everywhere, but the holiday was over at that time.
Yeah, so this is going to be your very first Lantern Festival, or 元宵节.
元宵节.
Yes, we're going to discuss that a little bit later. So for our dear listeners, if you're interested in Chinese culture and you want to get a grip on the Chinese language, then this is the show for you. Stick with us for 30 minutes and you'll soon see the rewards. And for more fun Chinese learning, follow our Facebook page, Learn Chinese, to watch many fun videos and live streams. But now, let's provide you with some free Chinese for takeaway. The first word we have to take away would be 元宵节, right?
元宵节.
That is the Lantern Festival. So the Lantern Festival is celebrated on the 15th day of the first lunar month. And it is generally believed that the Lantern Festival marks the end of the Chinese New Year celebrations. But it's way more than just that. It's not just the closing of the holiday season. It's also a celebration of itself. So 元宵, yuan carries the meaning of round and also start. This character actually is start, and xiao is the night. But together, it's actually talking about the first full moon night on the traditional Chinese calendar.
Okay, so that's probably connected to the design of the lanterns too.
Yes. We see a lot of lantern, and there are a lot of activities related to Lantern Festival, to lantern, to riddle guessing, eating the sweet rice bowl, the kind of dumplings with the filling in it. So a lot of traditions and activities related to that.
You said riddles?
Yes, riddle is also important. I think riddle guessing is a part of the Yuanxiao festival. Some people or some places would also include this tradition or activity in their Mid-Autumn Festival, but we'll talk about it during the Mid-Autumn Festival season.
I see. No, everything else you mentioned, I knew it was an important part of this holiday, but I didn't know riddles or riddle guessing was included.
Riddle guessing is included because, again, China has a really long history, and for those, we used to call them book readers. Not we in Chinese. We say 读书人. So 读 is read, 书 is book, 人 is person or people. So literally, they are book reading people.
Okay.
But they're
like
actually
scholars,
and those with a knowledge. See, they're humble even in naming themselves. And for them, entertainment activity needs to be knowledgeable as well. So riddles are involved, and the riddles are always coming in the form of, for example, remember we talked about 对联 during Spring Festival period of time. 对联, the couplets, the two lines, which also rhyme, and they can also be verses from poems. They use that rhyming, almost like verses from poems, as the riddle. And then you can, take a guess what's the answer.
Oh, if you don't have one right now, that's okay. But I would love to hear a fun Spring Festival riddle from you sometime.
Yes, and in the future, we might do that. When your Chinese level is up, is high enough to guess the answer, I think that'll be very interesting.
I will talk to you in 2045.
I'll be more ambitious. Let's give it, I don't know, 1 or 2 years.
2044.
All right. So those are the relatively more sophisticated ones, but let's share some words related to the Lantern Festival on top of Yuanxiao.
Sure, they're usually pretty brightly colored, right?
Yes, if you're talking about the lanterns themselves. So lantern, we've talked about lantern, that's 灯笼. 灯 being the light or the lamp, and 笼 is a cage. Remember I told you about caging the light inside the lantern. That'll be the 灯笼.
灯笼.
Yes, 灯笼. And sometimes we'll also call it 花灯.
花灯.
Yes, 花 is colorful, or it can also be variety of, but that character can also mean flower.
Okay.
So you see a lot of those lanterns are in different, very beautiful and some even majestic design. If you travel or if you tour Beijing during the Lantern Festival period, in a lot of different streets, in a lot of different communities, and especially in many of the parks, you get to see those huge lanterns in different shape, designed in variety of shapes or inspired by different types of flowers. Sometimes I see lotus or lily or rose, different huge ones, very beautiful.
I'm assuming that other cities around the country are the same, but Beijing is really pretty during the Spring Festival time because of all the decorations that are hanging in the streets and all the lanterns. It's really quite beautiful.
Now, if you want to describe a very beautiful lantern, what are some words you want to use to describe it?
Well, like I said, usually they're pretty brightly colored when they're lit up.
Yes, I think brightly colored is a good way to describe these lanterns in English because they are firstly really very bright and also they're very colorful. So the Chinese word for it is 鲜艳.
鲜艳.
Yes, 鲜 carries the meaning of fresh. So the color is not just with a shade of gray. It's very bright and very fresh. And 艳 is also talking about the level of colorfulness. So 鲜艳.
Can we use 鲜艳 to describe other things like delicious looking vegetables, for example? Can you use the word bright or brightly colored in that context?
Actually, no. I think that is a really good question because I didn't realize until you ask me. When I think of 鲜艳, I think about the kind of color that are close to red or pink or orange. I don't think about really bright green. I don't really think about blue, but blue can be included. But if it's exclusively green, since you're talking about vegetables, 鲜艳does not do the job.
So it's not everything that's brightly colored.
No, but you can definitely say cloth,
Okay.
鲜艳, or flower, 花朵 can be 鲜艳.
Okay.
So like I said, it's the kind of red or pink or orange, those kind of colors. 鲜艳. If you want to describe a very fresh fruit, actually you can say 新鲜 because you're thinking about fresh along the line. So 新 is new, 鲜 is fresh. So 新鲜蔬菜. So 蔬菜 is vegetable. 新鲜.
新鲜.
New and fresh.
New and fresh.
And also when it comes to 鲜艳, except for talking about flowers, I always associate 鲜艳 with the relatively artificial kind of brightness, not the pretty natural kind of brightness.
Like the light that comes from a lantern.
Yes.
Okay, got you.
Yes. And another one I like to use is delicate.
Yeah, because of the paper that's used in the making of the lanterns.
Yes, and also if you go to the right places, you can find the lanterns that are really, really delicately made, and they're probably made by hand, and you cannot even find the line when they are stick together. So it's kind of like they're natural beings.
The intricate details.
Exactly. So that in Chinese would be 精致.
精致.
Yes, 精致. 精 carries the meaning of intricate and also very detailed. And 智 is extreme. So it's extremely detailed and well made and delicate.
The lanterns are the perfect example of that, because if you look closely at the lantern design, and you see this a lot with temples, I guess we could use this word to talk about, because it's delicate, isn't it? When we use the word 精致. So we wouldn't talk about a temple like that. I was just thinking, when we look at a temple, we can see the intricate designs.
I understand.
You know what I mean?
Yes, but you're right. It's talking about relatively small things, or at least the things should have a small form.
Okay.
If it's magnificent, maybe 精致 is not the word, because when I was thinking about it, I'm thinking about, for example, earring.
Yes,
it can be really, really delicate. It can be so carefully made that you feel like who have that tiny hands that can paint on it.
Right.
That kind of feeling.
Yeah.
That is more 精致as towards.
To be fair, we wouldn't use delicate to talk about a temple either. I was thinking more about the intricate details.
Yes. So that's 精致.
Lanterns are also very just bright in general.
Or lights can be bright in general. And if we're thinking about that, you can even use the word 明亮.
明亮.
Yes, both 明 and 亮 carry the meaning of bright.
Okay.
And it can be used to talk about, well, not only lanterns, it can also be used to talk about, for example, rooms. You enter a room, you think it's very bright, 明亮. 这个房间很明亮.
How about a smile?
No. It has to be bright.
Literally
in the sense of,
bright.
Yes.
Like close your
Shining.
eyes a little bit.
Yes,
bright. Okay.
Yes. That's 明亮. And if we talk about different colors of the lantern, we can also talk about 五颜六色.
五颜六色.
五颜六色. 五颜六色.
五颜六色.
Perfect. 五 means 5. 六 6. 颜色 color. 5 or 6 different colors.
Oh, okay.
It's easy to remember, but it actually means very colorful. More than 5 or 6 types of colors.
Oh, so even if something only has 2 or 3 colors or...
No. It has to be more than 5 or 6.
Oh, more than 5
Maybe
or 6.
4 or 5 words,
Okay.
but it's colorful.
I see.
Yes.
Everything that's colorful can be... you can use this expression for that?
Almost. It's a little bit...
As long as it has more than 5 or 6 different colors.
Yes.
Like a painting.
Like a painting. But you do not call a painting just colorful. I don't think the painter want to listen to that.
Well, if you don't know much about art like me, then you can... Ooh, that's quite colorful.
Well, you know how to use the words, or you know the meaning of the words. How to use it is your own matter.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so that's lantern. And another thing that we have to talk about would be the sweet rice ball.
Sweet rice ball. I've learned this one. It's 汤圆.
汤圆, yes. So 汤圆 or 元宵. Actually, 元宵can also be the name of it. Remember 元宵节? It's almost like the sweet rice ball festival, but it's not.
It's always like the lottery when you bite into a sweet rice ball, because the 汤圆, they look delicious. All of them do. But then the filling is different. So sometimes you get this kind of sugary, honey, maybe, I don't know, cinnamony flavor, depending on what's
Sesame.
So depending on what's inside.
I think it's only this year or last year I started to really, really fell in love with 汤圆. I don't know what happened to me.
They're good.
They're good.
They're really good. And I don't know how many calories are in one, but I don't think they're good for your waistline.
Oh, no.
But it's impossible to eat just one. Who can eat just one of those? They're so small.
Their problem, well, my problem is that I started to order them even when it's not 元宵节, 元宵 festival.
You're celebrating anyway.
Yes, it's really, really delicious.
Yeah,
and the
good.
only thing is that I think whoever is purchasing 汤圆, they should have this line written or printed on the package of it. That is 小心烫.
小心烫.
It means cautious, it's hot.
Oh, I see.
Because if you bite it, or if you just have it entire 汤圆 in your mouth and then you bite it, the filling is actually quite hot.
It can be.
Yeah, it can be very hot.
Yeah.
And in different parts of the country, as usual, there are different fillings, like you said.
Sesame paste is a good one.
Oh, sesame. I love sesame
It's a
ones.
good one. Really
Yes,
good. The
really.
sugary sesame.
Yes. My mouth is watering. I cannot continue the show. I need to order a bowl of 汤圆. And of course, you want to say 很甜, very sweet, 甜.
甜.
Yes. And there are salty ones. I don't fancy.
I've never tried the salty
I've
ones.
never tried the salty ones.
Huh.
I don't like the salty ones.
Oh, I didn't even know they existed.
I don't need to try them to know I don't like them. But there are people enjoying the salty ones, and the salty one would be 咸口.
咸口.
口 is your mouth. So 甜口 is the sweet one, sweet on your mouth.
甜口.
甜口 and 咸口 would be the salty ones. And of course,
question.
Yes.
So 口 is your mouth. So is that for every description of a flavor? So if sweet is 甜, but if something is sweet, you say 甜口. If something is salty, what was the word for salty again?
酸.
酸口. So do you use 口attached to each flavor description?
You actually can. But there is a situation related to that. The reason we say 甜口,咸口 is because there are salty ones, there are sweet ones. So instead of using it to describe the taste of the dish, you're basically categorizing. So this belongs to the sweet category.
Okay.
Or maybe, for example, when it comes to 豆花, it's the very soft, almost jelly-like kind of tofu. You have the tofu. The tofu itself is kind of tasteless, yet you can decorate it or with different topping or different sauce. It can be in different flavor. So if you're saying 我要甜口的, I want the sweet type, it's kind of already suggesting there is a salty type.
I understand.
So you're categorizing it.
But what about if I just want to express this is sweet, this is salty?
Then you can just say 它很甜 or 它很咸. So it's a little bit different. And even if the dish itself maybe does not have a salty or sweet different version, you can also say, for example, when you're having, for example, cold dishes, you can say, I enjoy the sweet ones. Then in that occasion, you can say 我喜欢甜口的.
Because you're classifying.
You're classifying. So that's the idea.
Got it.
And of course, we talked already about the riddles, and riddle in Chinese is 谜语.
谜语.
谜 is riddle, 语 is language or sayings. So it's like a riddle saying, a saying which is a riddle. So that's 谜语. But specifically for this Lantern Festival, for 元宵节, what people used to do, remember the scholars, the 读书人, the book readers, they would go appreciate the lanterns, and those really delicate lanterns, they can be in different shape and form, very, very beautiful, and they can have a little tail hanging down the lantern.
What's the tail about?
And on that tail, there might be a piece of paper with that two verses, which is the riddle. And what you need to do is walk alongside and in the riddle area or riddle lantern area, and you see each and every riddle, and you find the one that you know the answer, you think you know the answer, and you pick it up or pick it down, actually, from the lantern. You take it to the lantern riddle owner and say, is this the answer? If you got the answer, you get a prize.
Oh, so there's many pieces of paper hanging down?
Yes.
Then you just take one?
Yes.
That's really fun. So that sounds like a fun activity for the family. So are there areas around cities where...
Oh, many.
Where you just go and do that?
Yes, you can definitely do that.
That
and
sounds
you can get
like
a prize.
That sounds like something you would enjoy. Are you good at it?
It depends. I'm not really good at the really hard ones, but I can get some answers.
That's really fun.
It's really fun. And because these riddles are closely associated or connected with the lanterns, instead of calling them just 谜语 riddle sayings, we call them 灯谜 lantern riddle.
Aha.
灯谜.
灯谜.
Yes.
Lantern riddles.
Yes. And since you're guessing instead of really know the answer, the guess character in Chinese is 猜.
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 Yes. So this activity, simple, it is called 猜灯谜.
猜灯谜.
Yes. Of course, we've talked about 灯谜, 猜灯谜, and in Chinese, by the way, we call the riddle 谜面, the surface of the riddle.
The surface of the riddle?
Yes, and we call the answer 谜底.
Oh, so the words.
The riddle itself.
The riddle itself.
The riddle itself is 谜面, so the surface of it.
谜面.
And the answer is 谜底,
谜底.
the bottom of it.
Oh, okay, I understand.
Yes, I think it's a cute play of words.
I really want to know some of these riddles.
Okay, I actually did a little bit of research, and because the riddles I remember are really closely related to Chinese characters. So you have the describing of a saying, and then you have to guess a Chinese character, which makes it a bit difficult to explain on an audio show.
And also to translate it to English.
Yes.
Okay.
That is why I find one that is a little bit childish, but can still be quite cute.
Perfect.
That is the kind of riddle that you can guess.
Okay.
The riddle in Chinese is 左手5个右手5个拿去10个还剩10个 It means you have 5 in your right hands, you have 5 in your left hands. If you take away 10, you still have 10 left.
Fingers.
Really close. Gloves.
No, okay.
Right?
Yeah,
because if you take away the gloves, you still have your fingers.
Yes.
That's the idea. Because nowadays, a lot, like you said, it is becoming a family activity, and a lot of parents would like to take their kids to go. One way to learn Chinese characters, and one way is to, learn about the world, and they can guess these lovely riddles.
Little brain teasers. It would make for a fun date day as well. Another question culturally, the lion dance is a big part of the Spring Festival, correct? And I remember years and years and years ago, I was in Thailand, in Bangkok, during the Spring Festival time. And my friend and I visited Chinatown for the day, and it was packed. Oh my goodness. There were so many people there. And they had these wonderful play performances with the white paper and then the puppets behind the white paper.
Yes.
Yeah, that one. And then they had the lion dance, the dragon dance as well. So can we talk about that a little bit? Is it more commonly found, or is it more a part of the celebration in the South versus the North, or the North versus the South, East, West?
Well, definitely, I think the southern part of the country sees more of the lion dances and dragon dances, yet it is definitely a national tradition, which makes it not rare to see anywhere. And the thing is, for different parts of the country in different provinces, actually the actual form would be different. For example, the lion dances and dragon dances, if you think about it, the dragon dances would require more people. You would have someone holding the head of the dragon, and
body.
many people. Long body. Some of the actual equipment used in the lion dance is just this really long stripe. Some are different segment of the stripe, and they're together, maybe 2 persons holding one segment, and you have many people. And some would even use this long stool as a part of the show. They jump onto the stool, and then they jump down, and they jump over it, and you see one after one jumping over it. So there are different dancing equipment, different decoration of lion and dragon, and
different
also
styles of dance.
Exactly. So yeah, 舞龙舞狮, but definitely 舞龙, 舞 is to dance, and 龙 is 龙, the Chinese dragon. 舞 again, dance, and 狮, 狮子 is lion. So 舞龙舞狮 definitely a major part.
舞龙舞狮.
Yes, 舞龙舞狮 would be a major part of the celebration.
Also fireworks too, right?
Yes, 烟花.
烟花.
Yan is smoke. Hua is flower. So you have
smoke flowers.
Yes.
Right. Makes total sense.
烟花 or 烟火. 火 is fire. So smoke and fire together, beautifully presented in the sky.
烟花
or 烟火.
烟火.
放烟花 or 烟花爆竹. In Chinese, 爆 is crack and 竹 is bamboo. Previously, when people didn't used to have fireworks, they still want the sound, the cracking sound. They would bend the bamboo, so you have the cracking sound. Yes, so 烟花爆竹, very important part. We've covered almost all of the elements. Which one is your absolute most anticipated one?
I would say the food. So I would say the 汤圆.
汤圆.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, so hopefully for this Lantern Festival, you can try some other fillings. And in some future episodes, let's see when you are here in China for over a year. You've experienced all the festivals. Let's pick out your favorite festival food.
Sounds good.
And that brings us to the end of today's Takeaway Chinese. I'm Niu Honglin with Steve Hatherley here in the studio. For more episodes of the show, you can visit our website at radio.cgtn.com and go to the column podcast. You can also listen to the show and read the script there. Find us wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Just search for Takeaway Chinese. Don't forget to leave your questions, comments, and ratings. 感谢收听，我们下次再见。
谢谢，see you next time.